Eichstätt Cathedral. Description of the cathedral. Eichstätt Cathedral is a three-nave, double-choir high Gothic hall with transept and accompanying rows of chapels. The two Romanesque bell towers flank the east choir. The nave appears very simple on the outside, with some of the buttresses being drawn inwards. Slender tracery windows illuminate the interior, while a stair tower next to the main portal enhances the view. The portal itself is protected by an open vestibule, whose pointed arch is accompanied by coving. The portal, 1396, has rich, painted sculptural decoration in terracotta under canopies. In the lower part of the tympanum you can recognize the depiction of Mary's death in the circle of the apostles and her assumption into heaven. Her soul is depicted in the symbolic form of a child holding Jesus, who is standing behind his mother's deathbed, in his arms. The crowning of the Mother of God can be seen in the picture zone above. The scene is framed by the 12 prophets of the Old Testament. The terracotta sculpture group at portal height, around 1420, includes Mary with the Child, the Magi, and the Pious Benefactor, while the figures on the side walls, around 1450, depict the diocesan saints Willibald, the first bishop of Eichstätt, and his father Richard, left, Walburga as abbess and Wunibald as abbot, Willibald's siblings, right. The early Gothic Willibald choir to the west is closed off by a fourth, late Gothic bay, which is still fronted by the Baroque west facade of Gabrielli. The portal is situated between double pilasters. The end is formed by a curved balustrade with the Baroque sculptural decoration of the Virgin and Child and the four diocesan saints. The towers are divided by Romanesque round arches and friezes and crowned by pointed spires above triangular gables. The most richly decorated is the late Gothic chapter sacristy with its pinnacles and lashings and the adjoining low Roriz chapel. The decoration of the buttresses of the east choir is more modest, with tracery windows between them. As the side chapels were built up to the height of the vaults, the interior, which is covered by cross vaults on round pillars, appears very spacious. The east choir is slightly lower than the nave, and the early Gothic Willibald choir with its massive vaults and the Saint's Tomb opens up to the west as a completely independent building section. The cathedral is 98 meters long and 38 meters wide in the transept. The naves are around 19.5 meters high. In the southeast, the four-winged cloister with the mortuary encloses an inner courtyard, which has served as a burial place for the cathedral chapter since 1958. The magnificent tracery forms were reconstructed after the destruction of the secularization period from 1886. To the west is the quadrangle of the bishop's residence, which replaced Wilibaldsburg Castle as the bishop's seat in the 18th century. The two-aisled hall of the mortuarium is considered one of the most beautiful late Gothic interiors in Germany. The vaults of the 8 double bays are supported by central columns and spanned by net vaults. Source: www.wikipedia.org